Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart, which is riding in white shoes in the Pacific Northwest. So, I ride exclusively with white shoes, and I like to keep them looking clean. You'll also notice I always wear white socks. I think it looks ultra pro to be wearing white shoes, white socks, especially these white socks. So these are two of my regular shoes that I have in rotation. I typically only wear one pair of shoes for the whole season, and then some, multiple seasons. This pair of shoes right here, which is dirty at the moment, has a good 16,000 miles on. This pair of shoes, which actually I'm going to put a review up on because I think they're review worthy. This has only got maybe 1,000 miles on them, but I like to keep them clean. I like them to look brand new. Like I said, these have got 16,000 miles. They're a little bit dirty right now, but they're not bad. They're not terrible. And these, probably a little bit worse, but again, not terrible. But I like to keep them spotless clean every single time I ride. I think white, clean shoes look ultra pro. So I'm going to show you how to take care of white shoes and keep them lasting for a long time with very little effort and very little money. And I'll put some links below in the comments. Bear in mind, I have no affiliation with these. They're not affiliate links. They're just links to things that I use personally to keep my shoes looking nice and clean. I know a lot of people shy away from just plain white shoes because they're hard to keep clean. They get gross. They don't have to. So come with me. I will show you how I take care of my shoes and keep them looking great even after 15,000 plus miles. All right, so first, one of the best ways to make sure you don't have to clean your shoes all the time is to cover them up. This is a pair of, well, it's one of a pair of shoe covers. This happens to be from a company called La Passione, which is based in Italy. I love their stuff. Again, they don't sponsor the channel. I have a number of their products. La Passione, if you want to sponsor the channel, get in touch with me, or I'll get in touch with you. But I love their products. Now these are cloth shoe covers. They're actually really easy to put on. They're easy to take off. They are not the kind of things like the latex or the silicone ones that you can get from like Velotoes. Those are great, but if you're putting on Velotoes to go ride outside, be prepared to cuss a lot because getting those things on and off is a nightmare. Plus, in my experience using the Velotoes, I tend to get really sweaty feet, which causes my shoes to stink really bad from the inside out. I'll tell you a little bit about how to keep the stink down later on, but just briefly. But best thing to do, avoid getting them gross in the first place. Those work great. They come on and off easily. They are cloth, so they will tear over time. However, I've had these for 2 years, and I wear them pretty regularly, especially in the winter. They provide a little bit of extra warmth. Your feet are still going to get wet. They're cloth. Your feet are going to get wet using the Velotoes too. It's just they get wet from the inside out because of sweat, and then the water still comes in through the cleat holes. So use some covers. That's the first thing. Now the second thing, have yourself a horsehair brush. These come in really handy just for getting back from rides where the shoes don't get really that gross, but kind of gross. You want something mild like this when you're hitting a dry shoe. You don't want to hit a dry shoe with anything hard. Now, I just swept a bunch of debris, and unfortunately, I'm not going to lie. It's hard to see in this light. I understand that, but they're kind of dirty. So I just brushed a bunch of that onto my floor, which is why it is that I'm going to take the rest of this cleaning video into where I clean my shoes normally, which is my bathtub. Humor me. I don't ever take a bath in there, but I clean my bike shoes in there. So let's go there next. All right, so we're in my bathtub, which is a phrase that I never actually thought I would say on video. So bear with me here. I don't really ever use this thing for bathing. I got a shower and I don't like stewing in my own stuff. So I use this tub to clean things. And notably, I use it to clean my cycling stuff. Now, I think in this light, you can see a little bit better that these shoes are kind of dirty. They're not terrible. I rode in some wet conditions yesterday. The Pacific Northwest is famous for being wet even when it's sunny out. And that's exactly the case. So there's quite a bit of debris that's on here. And if I were just to wipe it with a towel, it would still be gross. And in fact, it might make it worse. I have another one of these in here because, I have a bunch of these little horsehair brushes. You can buy these at Target or Walmart or wherever you have shoe care product. They come in handy, and you can see I'm immediately getting off a lot of that debris Again, I recognize that the camera's not going to pick up all of this, but I can tell you right now, if I were to look at the bottom of my tub, there's a bunch of gross stuff down there. That's why I do it here. If you have a significant other, or if you're a clean freak like me, don't do this in your living room. You're going to make a mess. And if you're wondering, yes, that is a dead plant. It's a reminder to all the plants out there when I go mountain biking to not jump out and attack me, because this is what I'll do. I'll take you home, I'll put you in my bathtub area and make you die. Or I'm just really bad at taking care of houseplants. It could be anything. All right, the next tip is these little guys right here. Now, you might know these as a specific product called the Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. Again, I'm not sponsored by Mr. Clean. If you want to sponsor me, you know where to hit me up. I do not buy, this is probably going to hurt my sponsorship opportunities with Mr. Clean, but whatever. I don't buy the Mr. Clean product because they're very expensive. These are melamine sponges off of Amazon, and I buy them in like 50 packs. And a 50 pack costs less than like a 3 pack of the name brand ones, and they do the same thing. Now the trick is, you got to get them a little wet. Again, this is why I do it in the tub. I'm about to make some mud. All right, now you wring it out. You don't want it to make your shoes wet. And if you do, you're just going to have a towel handy anyway, just to dry it off. And you literally just wipe. Now, in some cases, you're not going to be able to get everything off, and that's totally understandable. Like I got a little booger on that thing from probably snail guts or something. And then here we go. So I'm immediately seeing that it's going from kind of gross to kind of nice, and you can see where I'm smearing things. Again, having a little washcloth handy. Don't use the guest towels. Again, if you have a significant other, they're going to be very mad at you for this. So don't do it. Don't do it in your nice clothes. Don't do it over your nice floors. But here we go. I'm already making it look 1,000 times better. In fact, that's fantastic. In comparison, this guy's a little bit on the gross side. Again, I understand the lighting in here. You're not going to be able to see this because I keep them pretty clean anyway. So you're never going to see me coming back with like nasty shoes. I thought about running out in the garden and like smearing these around in the dirt, but just trust me. I try to keep it clean. Now, moving on. This is the final product. This is what I use when the shoes get pretty bad. And I will say that these are nowhere near as white as I like them to be. They're kind of dingy and gross. Jason Mark, I don't know who Jason Mark is. I know a guy named Jason. I know a guy named Mark. This isn't from either of them. But I do know that I can get this at Nordstrom in their shoe care product. And it's really designed for like high-end, nice shoes, sneakers and things like that. And it works great on those too. But it's literally designed for that. It comes with this cleaning solution, which is it's a soap, but it rinses very clean and it lathers pretty well. And this brush that's relatively stiff. And that's the key here. Like my horsehair brush is nice and soft. It gets off loose debris. It's great. All you do is you just kind of pump a little bit of that soap in there. Get it just a little wet. You don't need much. And as a matter of fact, I shake it out. And then I come in here and scrub. And instantly, that shoe is clean. Now let me wipe it off real quick. Remember, use a gross rag. Now instantly, that shoe looks basically brand new again. When this isn't enough, and this is enough for like 90% of your stuff, but when it's not, bust out the big guns. This kit is super cheap and it lasts, I mean, I've had this for years. And pro tip, if you like to run white bar tape, this stuff works great on it too. So, you know, just dab it in the water with some of this soap, scrub it on there, and you are good. Now, this shoe here, I could hit it with the same stuff, and it does a really good job cleaning it as well. These are some of the whitest shoes I've ever seen in my entire life. I really like that. Yeah, super easy to clean that with the solution. So those are the simple products I use to keep it clean. Now, there's one last thing that I'll use for keeping my shoes nice and clean, and it's really about cleaning them from the inside out and from keeping them from getting gross. All right, these are my final steps for recommendations for cleanliness of your shoes. This doesn't matter if your shoes are white, black, gray, green, yellow, it doesn't matter. Whatever color your shoes are does not matter. To me, this part is a little bit easier if they're white, because I'm going to show you something here in just a second, and you'll see why. I also don't recommend using this in the bathtub, which is why I've returned back down here. This has a plug. Don't use it in the bathtub. You won't care what color or how clean your shoes are at that point, but you won't care about a lot of things anymore. Real simply put, this is a shoe dryer. They're cheap. I'm going to throw a link up on Amazon. Pick one. It doesn't really matter. They work great. I know there's the old style trick of putting the newspaper in your shoes and stuff. I've done that. It does, it helps, but your shoes are still going to get gross. So as soon as I get home from a wet ride, like as soon as I do it, you pull the insoles out, okay? A lot of these, you can chuck these in the washing machine. If not, you can just scrub them with soap and water and just let them sit there to dry. These will dry very quickly. And then you place your shoes on the shoe dryer. Turn the knob, give it enough time. I like to do about 90 minutes on the shoe dryer. You'll know if your shoes smell bad because you're gonna be baking your foot's brie cheese right out of these things if you're using the shoe dryer. So you'll find out real quick if your shoes are smelly or not. And if they are, this is a great time to do the final trick that I have here. And the final trick that I have is Arm & Hammer. Okay, you get yourself a big bag. It can be a Ziploc bag, a small trash bag, whatever it is. I like to reuse it, and in fact, I like to leave it on my porch so that way it doesn't make a mess inside the house, but also so when somebody comes up to the house, they see a big bag of white powder. I'll just let them make whatever assumptions they want to make. You dump a load of this. Now this is a big box. I'm not going to put links on where you can get this. You know where you can get this? Every grocery store on the planet. So go to your grocery store. They have the big box of Arm & Hammer. It's cheap. You put it in the bag, you put your shoe in the bag, and you shake that bad boy. Now when you're done, you're going to want to shake it out as much as humanly possible. Vacuum your shoe out. Shop vac works best, but home vacuum will work. Just bear in mind you got to clean it up afterwards. And then your shoes are actually going to smell great afterwards. Well, you know, as great as shoes can smell. So if your shoes stink, final little trick here. Clean them first before you do all that. It'll make it actually harder to clean if you don't. So just clean your shoes, dry them, chuck them in the bag overnight, pull them out, vacuum them off, and they're great. I only do that maybe about once a year, but they definitely need it from time to time. So chuck them in there, get them clean, maybe at the start of the winter season, at the end of the winter season, and you're good. Okay, so kind of a weird video, but I've had a lot of comments from local people that I ride with. Hey, you're riding wearing white shoes. Are you crazy? No, I'm a clean freak and I love having clean white shoes, and it isn't that hard. Don't be afraid to go out and buy yourself a nice pair of white shoes and a nice pair of white socks. You're gonna look super pro when you do it, and they go with everything. So yeah, that's my last tip. Thanks for stopping by. Again, if you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, put something in the comments. Tell me what you like about white shoes. Tell me what color shoes you like. These trusty Physiques, they're great. Again, I've had them for 16,000 miles, but I've got a review coming of my new bots because holy cow, those things are good. And I didn't think I'd ever like a shoe that much. So, I mean, that's kind of a spoiler alert, but hang tight for that. That'll be coming out real soon. Otherwise, keep them clean. Thanks everybody, and see you again next time.